In this video, I will show you the easiest way to create a double jump system. Currently, my character is the default in the top-down sample pack. So let's get started. The first thing you need to do is to create a variable that counts the amount of jumps you can make. I will call this jump counter. In theory, if you wanted to make your character be able to jump 3 times, instead of 2, you could. Make sure to set the variable type to integer. Next, we will make sure that when our character lands, the jump counter is set to 0, so that we can double jump again. Add the event on landed node and set the jump counter to 0. Add an increment node, so that every time we press the jump button, it will increase by 1, and connect it to the jump counter variable. Add a print node here, and connect it to the jump counter variable. You will see why we need the print node soon enough. Now you will notice that when we press the jump button, the jump counter value will increase many times the amount that we want. We need to make sure that it only goes up by 1 every time we press the jump button. The way we're going to do this is by using a do-once node. So drag out a do-once node and connect the reset the same way I do here. Now you will notice it only goes up by 1 when I press the button. But we still don't have the double jump, so let's fix that. I will quickly change the default jump height for demonstration purposes. Now add a switch on int node so that we can decide what action happens based on the jump counter amount. So when the jump counter is 1, it will normally jump, and when it is 2, it will double jump. I will remove the do once node for now, just do as I do here, and it will all make sense soon enough. We don't need the print node anymore, so we can delete it. Add a launch character node and connect it to number 2. The Z value will determine how high the jump will be, so set this according to your needs. Make sure to connect the jump counter variable to the switch on int node. Now let's test it. The character is jumping twice when I press the button once, instead of jumping once and waiting for the second input. This is why we need the do once node. So let's add it back in. After jumping the first time, we will use a delay node to reset the do once node, so that after a short amount of time, we can press the jump button again, instead of pressing it twice in one go. Make sure to connect the reset from the onLanded event as well. As you can see, it works perfectly fine. Feel free to adjust the values according to your needs, as they may need some tweaking based on your game. Now that we have the double jump working, what are the override variables for? Well, this depends on the kind of launch you want. The X and Y are not relevant in this case, but for our double jump, let me demonstrate the difference. Do you see it? Why does he jump higher with it enabled? When it is enabled, it replaces the current velocity, meaning that if you are currently falling, the velocity might be something like -100, so it sets the velocity to the amount you have set in the node. But with the override disabled, it adds to the current velocity, so if we're falling with a velocity of -100, it will add plus the amount you have written. Most games will use the override enabled style because it's better and more realistic, but with the override disabled, you can have higher jumps.